So this is the Creating a Potent Vision of the Future workshop type thing that we're doing. And it's the 18th of the 2nd, Thursday today. So if you've got a notepad, we're going to spend, this is going to take about 30 minutes in total with a break in between. Defining our potential future. A big part of keeping motivated or inspired and goal achieving is being able to see yourself in the future. To gain a clear picture of our potential future, it is best to define what that future would be. And the best way to do that is to write about it. With a pen and paper, ideally, rather than typing is best. We should define our best future and also our worst, our heaven to aim for and our hell to avoid. So the highest high, heaven. Look 5 years into the future. It's going to take 15 minutes. Need to set a timer. If we could just take track of the time in a minute. And when we're writing this part of it, the highest high, we want to write this in present or past tense, as if it's already been achieved or you already are this person. So you're writing I am, I have, etc. What would your life be like? What would your life have to be like for you to be happy and fulfilled? What would your life have to look like for you to be feeling great about it? What do you truly want? We're not talking about what we think we can do here. We're talking about what we truly want in our lives. And when we start this writing, we're going to, kind of like the meditation, we're going to focus on ourselves and we're going to go outwards into our lives. So we're going to start on our mindset, how we think about ourselves, how we think about our lives, how we feel about ourselves, our health, our spirituality, our education, what we've learned. What do we spend time doing? And then you want to start writing about your relationships and how people relate to you in different areas of life and how you spend time with those people. And then expanding from there, expanding into your business, career, wealth, and then any other external areas like charity, how you're going to give back, what you're doing for people, other projects you're working on, holidays you're going on. It's all these things. Holidays might be more in like what you spend time doing, like hobbies and things like that. So we're going to, how do we get up this? We spend 15 minutes doing this. So we're going to finish at 17 minutes past. Can you hear the music? Cool. Give it another minute. Okay, here is the next slide. So we've done part one, which is the highest high, heaven, the heaven to aim at, and now we're having a hell to avoid, the lowest low. Again, look 5 years into the future. Take 15 minutes to define this version of yourself. And this is important that you don't write this in present tense. Like the last one, I'm not sure if everyone did this, but you want to write, when you're writing what you're trying to achieve, you want to always write it in present or past tense as if you've already achieved it. It influences your subconscious mind to believe that it's already happened. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. So you can lie to it and you'll start to believe it. So in this part, you wanted to write in future tense. So if, could, and would. So if I don't do this, or if I do this, this could happen, and then this would happen. So the idea of this now is, once you have something to aim at, you need something to avoid. You want to set up the law of attraction and the law of
repulsion.
Repulsion. Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. So what would your life look like if you let all your worst tendencies take over and you never took any action towards your goal? You just let everything slide and everything just fall apart, and you descended, you spiraled out of control. How bad could things get? And this is a pretty scary thing to do. And most like personal development courses won't get you to do this, but the really good ones, the ones that know how the best way to get things out of yourself, this is something that we need to do. We need to have an idea of how bad things could get so we can scare ourselves from going down that route. Okay.
I'm just curious, before you carry on, I just want to ask Mia and Joanne, do you understand why we've added in this facing the lowest of the low end? Do you understand why? Based on what's been said.
I've got another slide which might do that. I think they're still...
Yes.
Is it meant to do with like accountability? To understand that should you not strike?
So like in you know, in the spiritual communities, there's this whole thing about positive focus, and like that's the whole thing, like law of attraction. If I only focus on the positive, then good things will happen. Now, the idea here with this one is by going into what we don't want, we are then able to realize what we do want, and it's substitution as well. So like, well, no, before I go into that, it's like we want to build up an emotional charge around what we do want, because as soon as we build up an emotional charge in either polarity, we create the opposite charge as well. So we're focusing here on what we don't want, and then we've also then focused on what we do want, so that we can kind of be like, oh, I don't want that, and get afraid of it, and then also really then double down on the loving kind of reinforcement energy of what we do want. So that's why. Just wanted to make that clear.
Nice one. Thanks for that, man. Yeah. And also we covered it in previous presentations, but which I do go into on the next slide as well, but there's we have two main motivational systems, biological systems in our bodies. One of those is incentive and reward. So that's if we set a goal and we make progress towards it, it releases endorphins into our body. So we feel good about it. So we want to go towards that. It motivates us more to move towards that thing. And the other motivational system is fear, or fight or flight. So what can happen a lot of the time if you have this big vision of the future, like we've just done, because it's maybe so grandiose and you don't have anywhere to apply your fear to, what's happening here is when you think of this positive vision of the future, you'll think of it in an incentive and reward way. So you want to move towards it because it will feel good to do it, but you're also associating your fear with that same thing. So what we're doing here as well is being able to define something that we don't want to achieve. We can take our fear away from what we're trying to succeed at and place it where we don't want to go, and then just have that positive force moving us forward. Because I think a big issue a lot of time is people don't realize that they're actually scared of success. They fear success, or they fear achievement, or they have these big ideas and they are associating their fear with that thing. So being able to do this, you're splitting your fear into two different things. So you have something to run from and something to run towards.
I guess it's a bit like magnets. You know, when you have a magnet, like when I was a kid, I couldn't understand how sometimes you couldn't push two magnets together. It's a repulsion, and yet another one which could clamp. So I guess it's the case of like, if you have the goalpost set up, you have one which is attracting and one which is repulsing, and you're the magnet in the middle, then you need both energies. One is attracting and one is repulsing to move you in the right direction, I suppose.
That's a great analogy. I like that. Thank you.
And it's like we always have a choice as to which one we want to pull us out towards.
All right, let's share the screen again. All right, so we're going to do this now. now everyone's, it's been 50 minutes. I'm just going to go through to the next slide. And then we'll have a discussion. So I hope everyone had fun experience doing that. It could be pretty scary and quite sickening, actually, the thought at times, for me anyway. So now we have a vision to aim for and a vision to run from, utilizing our two main biological motivational systems in our bodies, incentive and reward, and fear or fight and flight. It's important to keep the positive version of the future in the front of your mind and keep the intention that you will achieve this. This is something that you want to keep in your mind. This is your new self that you're moving towards, and you intend for it to happen. You know, you have a knowingness that this is where you're moving towards. This is why it's so good to write in the present tense. And if you read this often and rewrite it and redefine it, it's going to solidify those ideas and influence your subconscious mind even more to believe it. If you wrote 2 A4 pages out, all in the present tense, of your perfect life in 5 years' time, and every morning and every night you read that before going to bed, within a month, within 2 months, you will start believing that that is going to happen without a doubt, because that is how the subconscious mind works. You keep flooding it with information and it will just grab onto it like a computer program and just believe it. You can lie to your subconscious mind and it will believe it. It's quite interesting, really. The negative vision should be reviewed from time to time, especially if we're finding ourselves going off track. If we're starting to do the things we know we shouldn't do, or we're not doing the things we want to do, and things aren't going to plan, we should look back on that, because sometimes we just need a kick in the ass, you know, to think, oh, I need to put put myself together now, because if I don't, look what could happen. Like, this could go wrong if I don't pick myself up and turn myself around again. And sometimes you just need that. Sometimes it's nothing beats the inspiration of having a positive vision to move towards, but you need sometimes to be able to look into the future and see how bad things could get if you don't stop doing what you're doing. Okay, well, this was the presentation for creating a potent vision of the future. If you've watched this on YouTube, it'd be great to have you at one of our meetings sometime in the future.